Family, we're in May 2025, and Yahuwah is nationally calling our heart to Him. Yahuwah's heart. Yahuwah's heart in the image of His character. There are a lot of wars, individual wars, wars within people, inside their inner being. They're at war with themselves. So I want to talk to you for a few minutes about waging war, spiritual war, and in its proper perspective of your heart. You see, in the book of Psalms, from about chapter 90 through 119, there's a lot of remembrance to the heart matter. A lot of speaking about the evilness of one's bad iniquity, their idol worship to self, their self-absorption, haughtiness, unbalanced character, that false image. So what I'd like to do is just take a moment and ask for everyone to please collectively, in all wisdom and understanding and discernment, to know that the separating of not just, as the scriptures say, sheep and goats, but the 2/3 of our nation is completely being separated. And if you can hear that in the background, that's the ambulance and the police. Actually, just 2 police. I can usually tell by being familiar with what I'm hearing. But there are sometimes some ambulances in the area. So that's kind of that confirmation there. Back to the topic. So when I'm talking about the image of Yahuwah's heart, you know, before I started making these videos again, I could feel how I'd like to feel. I could, leave a comment or just absorb and take away what I'd like to. A lot of the time I'm watching camping, homesteading, or, traveling, people traveling in their vehicles, and videos like that are about animals and eating vegetables and so forth. However, uploading these videos, I'm really understanding that the heart matter and the reason why Yahuwah is placing this new ministry and the change of this platform with the channel name to change and so forth is because of the recent tests and assignments that I've had on my life with people. Those of friendships way back and those of new acquaintances and brethren who didn't do their full research to understand prophetic callings or being able to distinguish who is Yahuwah's child and who is not. So now that I have graduated to this place of the heart armor, He wants different brethren to unite and be family oriented in the ministry. And although ministry is in so many forms, even in business, because if you are uplifting and encouraging and speaking a word of the Spirit and a word from Yahuwah's heart to another without any transgressions or self-assuming or being prideful, not having a tongue like a sword, or cutting up someone's heart, and being evil. He wants us to acquire moving into promises and desires of the heart and into his kingdom. The kingdom needs to start taking place as the separating of the 2/3 is being cut off. And you'll see it online. You'll see it very much. Excuse the background. I'm next to a window at this time. But you can see it in the topics. You see, our nation is still allowing themselves to worry about the world. And in order for his kingdom to take place here on earth, for his kingdom, as it's being established, Yahuwah asks us to deal with the armor and the heart matter of the remnant. And that's where I'm at. So, there are brethren that need to go out and be pastors and do ministry in the street, and they still are preaching on the streets. That's no longer my calling here anyway. That's, there will be some that are still doing that. I am now being called to speak to the remnant, to those grafted in, even from other nations, those on this channel, those that are still here, those that are still presently alive. I see the subscribers on this platform, and I don't know, some of the subscribers are private, so I don't have all of you listed. But I see how far the channel's grown, even when I was not even presently here. So that means that, someone comes across your content in that video or whatever it is you're sharing, and they're being uplifted, they're being encouraged, they're understanding something. So now, as I'm not called to take all those videos away, but now change the name of the ministry and start focusing on exact the heart and exact warfare that we go through with each word, each topic, each subject, and how we deal with it with our hearts. How Yahuwah, how his heart wants us to deal with it. And it's very clear that the 2/3 are being cut off. They're being completely cut off. And they're just so far from understanding that it's not about, this world anymore and Babylon. It's really the kingdom. That's where we need to be talking about, and being abundant and resourceful and prosperous in the kingdom. Okay. Having our lives in order and enjoying our lives the best we can. And when you get to that point, when you have that armor over your heart, that secure gold armor over your heart, securing you and guarding you with the sword of the Spirit, you see the world, you see how it is, yet you're really just focusing on your assignments, you're focusing on your calling, you're focusing on projects, you're focusing on the ministry, you're focusing on your life, you're focusing on promises, desires of the heart, you're focusing on the heart matter, not focusing on what the world leaders are doing. And I know that there are some still called to that. So I just wanted to make this short video. I'm really, truly hoping that we can start sharing. I haven't seen any comments, any likes. So that's why I speak directly to thank you, new subscribers. Welcome, subscribers who have been here from the beginning. All the sisters and brothers that I've spoken to, even offline or in a letter. And I don't know who's all still here with me. So even some that despise my prophetic calling or what I'm being told to do might have some hatred towards me, and they're here as well. But I'm going to give a lot of testimony, a lot of story time, a lot of spiritual word and understanding. And I am a little bit off track because I need to gather the remnant back to this channel so that I can get real serious in what I need to say. And so what I'm trying to do is through shorts and quick videos, try and put different parts in there, little by little, piece by piece, what Holy Spirit is telling me to do. And it's also from my heart. So this part of the ministry, this new book, this new chapter, Yahuwah has called me to, is from the last 3 years of my life of what's been going on. So I've passed those tests and I'm ready to be able to fulfill part of that, which goes towards the ministry in business. It goes towards ministry in assignments, the calling, all of it together in a complete walk. My heart is complete there. So I'm here to share it. And before I close, I just want to say thank you so much. I appreciate you again. Never taken for granted. I thank you all for sticking around, and your love for Yahuwah is what will get us through. That will get us through this life right now, and being obedient. And it's not always easy, and it's not always easy to walk away from someone or something, a place, but we do, and we do, you know, in each step that we take and walk through this narrow path. And not everyone's going to understand the remnant. They're not going to understand Yahuwah's kingdom, his children. They're not going to understand. And so that we have to just focus on who understands and meet them there. And let's just talk about our heart condition, because it's not always, sweet. It's not always easy. It can be tremendously painful, and it's very brutally honest, truthful, upfront, and there's no strings attached. It's just bold. It's very strengthening emotionally, being intelligent, and being able to be consistent with what he has called us to do. And there may be many of you on here that have your own platforms, and you have different channels and different, for different topics. It may be spiritual, it may be business. It might just be words of encouragement. It could be about your animals, your farm. It could be any of that. So there's a wide variety and creativity of the remnant and Yahuwah's children and his sons and daughters alike, the bride of Christ, the 144, all of us, the elect, all of us is a remnant. And we just have to not be sidetracked on what everybody else is doing, but the heart, because really that's what's about, is love, the heart, disciplining our flesh, and being able to walk in the spirit while we're in the natural. And that is a tug of war that takes a lot of discernment and discipline, and it takes time. So I will go over that as well. And again, I thank you for being here. I just want to introduce you to come on through and see the longer videos so that I can start going live and be able to have an audience to speak to. Love you so much with the love of Christ, agape to you. And I will speak to you soon. Shalom.